Before we begin, thank you very much to Kicker is Not a Bad Character for joining the Patreon campaign. Look, it's all a matter of opinion. I don't like Kicker as a character, I will acknowledge. The English dub did him absolutely no favors. The English direction did him absolutely no favors. But let's be honest, we're lucky anyone got out of Transformers Energon alive. Let's be real here. But thank you very much for the contribution. Thank you very much for the support of the channel. It means the world to me and allows me to keep doing silly content like this. So if you want to see the silly content go, please consider contributing to the Patreon. We're actually getting close to the 1,000 goal, which is going to unlock a whole bunch of extra stuff. So thank you very much. Okay, today's video is not for Transformer fans. Weird enough, right? So this video is actually for the people who have Transformer fans in their lives. Because if there's one thing collectors have as Universal, I don't care what it is you collect, if it is a toy, if it is, coins, cards, keys. I collected keys as a kid. I don't know why. Whatever you collect, the one thing that we have in Universal is when the holidays are coming around, nobody ever knows what to get us. We put out wish lists, I have a throne for that. Some people have Amazon wish lists, their families hit. Whatever it is, we have like guides to help, but that kind of takes the surprise away, that kind of like, you get something you want, but you kind of knew it was coming. So what do if you want to surprise somebody, or if you want to get them something thoughtful, but you don't know what to get a collector? So here is a bit of a holiday gift guide for any type of toy collector in your life. Now, we're going to focus on Transformer collectors, obviously, but this is applicable advice to just about any type of person who has a collector in their lives and they have no idea what to get them. So this is not going to be a list of like, oh, hey, here's the great toys that came out this year. You should get them this. We already have them. We already have them. Unless we have been vocal about not getting them, we already have them. So let's focus in on things that are a little bit different. Focus on things we don't normally go for ourselves. For instance, not a lot of us go for the action figure side of Transformers, because there are non-transforming Transformer toys out there that do better jobs as action figures than any transforming figure can do. So you do have quite a few options in this regard. So you do have things that I will tell you. I would advise you, if you are unfamiliar with Transformers, I'm going to do a lot of talking to this camera to people who are completely unfamiliar with Transformers to help them out. So, if you're unfamiliar, you'll want to avoid Transformers Red, and you'll want to avoid Transformers Ultimates. Both toy lines are pretty limited and not very well received. There's a few Transformer Reds that are actually considered to be pretty good, but for the most part, the toy lines are a miss. And for the price point, Ultimates really should be providing a better experience than it does. The companies you should kind of look out for is something like MDLX from 3-0. The figures there can range anywhere generally between $60 and $90 depending on the character and how complex it is. Once you get into more complex characters or rarer repaint releases, you're going to get over $100. But the quality is exceptionally good. Like, they're very smooth, very well articulated action figures. If they have one of your friends' or personal favorite characters available, it's actually a pretty good bet we haven't gone for that. Because we don't think about going for non-transforming Transformers, because, hey, all Transformers must transform. Not necessarily. I've had really good experience. I got to experience an MDLX this year thanks to a fan. And I really do appreciate it because it wakes me up. And, I really like the fact that I got the opportunity to experience something I normally wouldn't. So that is a great thing for Transformer fans sometimes. Strange outlier things are also good. Things like the collaborative figures, especially weird ones, like Frankentron here. Not a lot of us go for these because they're just kind of odd and they don't really go in with our collections most of the time. However, there are some really interesting and good Transformer experiences out there with these that do provide a different vibe than normal. It's something that a lot of us would be curious about, but we never really go into and spend our own money on. So things like this, if you know a person in your life who is a collector and does not have something like this, not a bad option. Not a bad option. If the collector in your life has a particular favorite toy, you know, something they picked up years back, they can't put it down, it stays on their desk, etc., you might want to look into the Japanese version of it. Look into a Transformer produced by Takara of the exact same figure and see whether or not it's been improved. Because until recent years, it was very common for Takara to actually produce better versions of the toys that came out here in America. You know, what you're looking at here is... you're looking at the Classics Bumblebee on the left, and I believe Henkei or United Bumblebee on the right. In either regard, you see the Japanese one, metallic paint, more accurate to the original cartoon, etc., etc. It is an enhanced version, so there is a decent possibility. You know, as long as the Transformer is like older than like 5 or 6 years old at this point, if that is a favorite of theirs, see if it has a Japanese version. See if there is a better improved, because it's not only paint job and additional paint apps available. Sometimes they even have accessories that never came out in America. So you're actually getting a whole lot more toy, even though it's, you know, the same figure. But it is a way of, you know, knowing, it is a way of telling someone, like, you know their favorite and you want them to have the best version of their favorite. Now, if they like building things, if they do model kits as well, Transformers does actually do model kits. The best ones probably at the moment are from Flame Toys, or at least these are the ones where you have the most options available to you. They've done a lot of the major characters. Devastator, Megatron, Bumblebee are here. They've done several different versions of Optimus Prime between G1, IDW, and their own designs. They've done Seekers. They've done a bunch of the Seekers. They've done some of the Girl Bots. Yeah. Flame Toys has done a ton, you know, and they do exceptionally good work. I like all of the model kits from them that I have built. So, I know, frankly, I do have several of these on my wish list, to be honest. This is something that, again, normal Transformer collectors don't normally grab for themselves. So, you know, it does give us the opportunity to experience something new. Of course, you could also experience YOLO Park for this as well. Not only are these less expensive, but they focus more on the modern depictions, unlike the ones from the new movie, for instance. We've been over these on this channel. These are fantastic for their price. So this is another one that's really good to grab. If they're not too much into model building, this is another alternative, not only for model building, but also for non-transforming Transformer toys. Because while they are highly articulated, the actual assembly process is mostly done for you. There's only a few things you have to put together. It's very easy. So you get a lot out of these. So this is a good pickup as well. Now, let's go outside of like the official realm of Transformers, because there's plenty of options you could go through everywhere else. So for instance, there are plenty of fan-made Transformer goods out there that you can get. If they have a particular favorite character, here, hang on. Let me make sure that this is, there we go. You can see Darwin Rose Studios. I want to make sure that you can see the name of the people I suggest here. If you actually look around, you'll be able to find fan-produced stuff either on independent artist sites like this or on Etsy of their favorite Transformer character that they are not normally going to own and not normally available to them. Another great little option, and this can also hit their design aesthetic. If they have a particular style of art they like, you know, that does, you know, you're going to have a plethora of styles, especially for popular characters like Starscream and Bumblebee. And we're talking anything from keychains, acrylic standees, buttons, stickers, pillows, shirts, beanies, you know, any manner of thing a Transformer can be decorated onto, it's out there. So consider some fan-made stuff. And not only are you getting something unique, but you're also supporting a starving artist. So that is always helpful for everyone involved. But you want to stick to actual physical transforming things? Okay, I got you. I want you to go on Amazon, and I want you to search for a word called Tobot. Tobot is a line of Korean transforming toys that do feel very much like mid-2000s and mid to late 2000s Transformers. They are generally more expensive than Transformers are, but they are very large and very robust for their size, and they can provide a very different Transformers experience. The one we see here, for instance, Big Boss, actually turns into a bus. We don't have a bus Transformer. There has never been a bus Transformer. Tobot's done it, though. So if you want to get a Transformer fan something unique, think about a Tobot. They do things that Transformers don't, which is nice to know, especially if you've ever heard any of your, if you've heard your friend complain about modern Transformers having hollow parts. You're not going to find that on a Tobot. They're dead solid. Great option. Great option for those, again, gets the vibe, but it doesn't, I should say, if they prefer the transforming experience, if they just like transforming toys in general, if they're just hooked on the franchise, maybe not, but still, good option for an alternative. Another one is Beast Box. I've talked about Beast Box on this channel a few times. I've reviewed the Reaper that you see on screen now. These are fantastic. So most of them transform into a 2x2x2 cube, but they all transform into different types of animals. There's a few robotic ones. There's a few based on pop culture characters like the Queen Alien or Ninja Turtles. They've done some crazy stuff that has some cross appeal, and I really, really love their work. It's really inventive stuff. So if they've never experienced one, by now, they've probably produced their favorite animal. They might even produce their own favorite dinosaur at this point, because they've done a lot of dinos as well. You've got a lot of options available with the Beast Box. And again, it's most likely, especially if they just stick to like brick and mortar bought Transformer toys, it's definitely something they've never seen or experienced before. Could be a lot of fun. So just find out their favorite animal, grab the Beast Box of it, probably going to be in good. Let's get into some more esoteric. Let's get into some more out there choices. So if you have a digital friend, someone over the internet that you'd like to get something for, think about Cameo. There's tons of different Transformer voice actors on there that can give you a holiday greeting. Some of them, granted, prices seem a little high on some of them. But you know what? If their favorite actor or someone who did their favorite character is available on there, it's a priceless thing to have just like that reaction, just this little video that's personally for them of, their favorite VA or a Transformer VA doing their favorite character that they'll always get to have and always get to replay whenever they want. For the list you see here, my recommendation would be David Kaye. He played Megatron for a decade. He spent a decade as Megatron and then 3 years as Optimus Prime for Transformers Animated. So that, again, very good. Now, if you have a vintage Transformer fan in your life, Dan Gilvezan was the original voice of Bumblebee. John Moshida Jr. there, kind of, fairly affordable. He was the original voice of Blur. Extremely unique voice in G1. So you do have options there. Just as a quick example. There's others on there, too. This is just like the first page. So, a little bit of an odd one, but you don't normally think of it. And that's where we're going to get into. Here's a section of gifts that Transformer fans could always use, but we never think of it. And we never think to get it for ourselves. So, consider a set of display stands like this. So, modern Transformers, almost all of them have a 3mm port located somewhere on the back of the pelvis section of the toy. And if they have a jet mode, if they have a flight mode of some kind, that port is usually exposed on the undersides for flight stands. But Transformers do not include these stands, nor do they actually offer those stands themselves. It's a 3mm port, which is going to fit these stands by good smile. Now, they're translucent plastic, so they're not going to hold up over the long term. I've had several of these break on me out of nowhere. But at $16 for 3, that's not a bad price. And there are other display stands out there that do run cheaper. So even if they do break, it's not too much to replace them. And these in particular I recommend just because I know for a fact they have a 3mm peg that's going to work on the Transformers. So that's a fun one. That gives us fun options that we don't normally have available to us. They're also great if someone really likes taking photos of their toys and showing them off online. Which, if they do, also consider a light box. I have one myself, and if I had a place to always have it set up, I would. I love taking photos of it in there. It produces such clean, cool looking and dynamic pictures of the toys that I pick up. It's a lot of fun to mess with. A lot of fun to mess with. And yeah, if they really like showing off what their toys can do, if they really like showing them off on Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever their social media of choice is, this is a godsend. These are so much fun to mess with for photos. And you don't need a professional photography thing or anything in order to do it. You know, even the camera on your phone is going to produce so much better shots with one of these. Again, something we don't normally think about. Do they have a figure in particular that they treasure? Something that is particularly rare, a customized piece or something? Consider getting it a display box. You know, you're going to have to sneak in and figure out how big it is to get the right sized one. But we've all got something that is incredibly precious to us that we don't really want damaged, or we don't really want dust getting attached to it or anything. This is a nice little thing. If you know they have a particular piece that they want to take care of, this is not a bad item to have. Likewise, we always lack in storage options for accessories. So things like this that can store a whole bunch of parts in individual containers, these are really nice. Now, currently, these are overstock on Amazon, which means they are crazy discounted. So, you know, just these two, this one for $7 will store over 70, it's over 70 compartments. That's the accessories for over 70 Transformers that it can store and sort. And, you know, if they stuff a bunch in the same slot, even more, if they can tell them apart, that is, which they usually can. But still, you could just get a mountain of these for an affordable price and just hand them over and here, store all of these little bits that are floating around. Great storage solutions. Now, we talked about the plexiglass box as a dust protection for a rare piece. Dusting is another thing that's annoying for Transformer fans, especially if they keep things on a shelf. So these are options now, which is basically just a handheld air blower. But for something like this, it replaces the need to constantly buy air cans to dust off shelves. And yeah, it would work really, really well for a Transformer fan who has big toys in their collection in order to keep them dusted off. Now, this isn't going to get everything, and it's not appropriate for smaller figures. It's just going to blow them over. So I would also recommend, if you were getting something like this to help someone clean up their collection, then get a set of makeup brushes as well. It seems weird, right? But I have makeup brushes that I dust my figures off with, and literally I've never had to do anything more than the Bob Ross bristle beating just to clean them off once in a while. So the bristles on these are soft enough that they are not going to damage the paint or chrome on a Transformer, but they are still firm enough to actually take up the layers of dust that get onto them. More importantly, because these are designed to release the particles that are stuck to them, which is, they're makeup brushes. How else do you switch colors or reuse them otherwise? They're not going to hold on to the dust particles very well either. So you can use it to just brush the dust off of them without damaging the toy. And they're fantastic for that. So a cleanup kit's not a bad idea either. If all else fails, everyone knows they are insensitive, but we do not take offense to a gift card. We know we are hard to shop for. We know we already have everything. We know you have no idea what to get us. So being able to get whatever we want ourselves, that is helping us. That does help us out a lot. Yes, it's basically just money, but it is, it's kind of what we need as collectors. So it's not a bad choice. If you want to be less impersonal about it, and you actually do want to do a little bit more thoughtful of a purchase when it comes to a gift card, there is one shop that always has something that every Transformer collector wants. No matter what kind of collector you are, there is something there that you will want, and we never have enough money to get what it is. And that is eBay. There are physical cards available at some grocery stores, at Walgreens, etc., but you can also get these digitally from Target and a few other online retailers, Works just like money on eBay. And like I said, it's the one store that always has something a collector's going to need, whether it's a part for a G1 toy, a random figure from the 2000s they never got. Either way, this is probably the best one to go for if you're going to go the gift card route. And that's going to wrap it up. So I hope that is helpful. Like I said, this is not for Transformer fans. My followers, my people, share this video to the people in your life that have no idea what to get you when the holidays come around. And this could actually get you something you may have never expected to get before, that you maybe have never thought of before. Though in hindsight, I think if you get something that's based on this list, that's not a surprise either. But hey, I'm trying to help. So I hope it did help someone out there. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
We parlay with the captain.
You would think a werecroc is going to listen to elvish rules of piracy.
Of course it would be the freaking elves that invented parlay.
I had to think of a quick replacement for the French.
Oh.